So why do you need to disagree with people? Well, it can be really hard to disagree, especially if you're coming from a more passive style of communication. But over the years, I've learned that it is really important to disagree with people when you want to or when you need to, especially if you are an emerging leader. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 reasons why you should disagree when you need to or when you want to. But before we get started, I'm Cara Ronan. I'm a leadership coach and I help emerging leaders just like you build your visibility and influence so you can unlock your leadership potential. I'm also a 2-time best-selling Udemy course creator for my courses Business Etiquette 101 and the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass. I will link to those below if you want to check them out. And if you want to work out where you stand on your leadership development, then I have a free resource for you available on my website. It's a leadership evaluation toolkit, a 35-question self-assessment which will take you through many different areas of leadership so you can see where you stand. It's a free download from my website. I will put the link below in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, so why should you disagree? Isn't it rude? Won't it lead to conflict? Well, these are normal fears that you might have. I had them too when I first had to learn how to disagree with people. So before we get into reasons why you should disagree, I want to talk about a couple of fears that may be stopping you right now. The most common fear that people have is the fear of offending. I don't like offending people either, but disagreeing doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to offend another person. What happens quite often during disagreements, especially if you know how to disagree respectfully and assertively, is that you help the other person see your perspective. You help them see things and issue from a different perspective, from a different viewpoint. So they may even learn something that they've never thought about before, and it helps them to see things in a different way. It's more of an enlightening experience rather than some kind of tension or aggression that you might get, that you might have in mind when you have to disagree with people. So the fear of offending is one of the fears that may be stopping you right now. Now, another fear that people have is the fear of conflict, or the fear of retaliation in some way. Now, this really depends on who your conversation partner is at that time. If you're with an aggressive conversation partner, then yes, sometimes this can lead to conflict. But if you are with a passive conversation partner, then chances are it is not going to lead to conflict, even if you have a disagreement. But the thing is, you shouldn't be afraid of conflict, because when you know how to communicate assertively, you know how to handle yourself in any kind of situation, in any kind of conversation, whether it's conflict, whether it's disagreement, or whether it's something more positive. So when you know how to communicate assertively, you can basically handle yourself in conflict, and that makes you more confident and makes you more likely to approach disagreements as well and not let the fear of conflict stop you. So we've talked about a couple of fears that might be stopping you from disagreeing. Now I want to get into the main part of the video, which is why you should disagree. And I'm going to share with you 3 reasons in this video. Reason number 1 is it makes you look like a leader. Have you ever come across a leader who was 100% agreeable? A leader who was a people pleaser? It is unlikely. Leaders need to be strong. Leaders need to voice their opinions and their disagreements if that's what it comes to. You can't afford to be a people pleaser. You can't afford to agree with everybody all of the time. If you do agree with everybody all of the time simply to avoid conflict or simply to please other people, then you will end up making decisions that aren't in line with your leadership goals, that aren't in line with your responsibilities or your priorities as a team. And then you'll have a lot more problems to deal with than simply offending somebody. So as a leader, you need to start disagreeing with people, because it helps position you as a leader and helps you look like a leader in the eyes of other people. Reason number 2, it makes you appear honest and authentic. Because you are saying what is on your mind, you appear more honest and authentic to other people in the room. Now, people love leaders who are honest and authentic. It helps us connect with them better because we feel that we know who they are. One of the biggest barriers around authenticity and authentic leadership is when people are too passive, when they're too shy to speak their mind and to reveal their ideas and share their thoughts and opinions with other people in the room. When you do this, people think you are hiding something. They don't know what you think or what you feel about issues. This leads to distrust. And in a team environment, as a leader, you need other people to trust you. You need them to follow you. They won't follow you if they don't trust you. But if you don't share your ideas or your opinions freely in meetings, they're not going to know what you think. And as a result, they won't trust you, or they'll be a lot more reluctant to trust you. You can't build trust with your team if they feel they're not getting to know the real you. One of the easiest ways to build trust with your team and to show you are an authentic leader and you're really being yourself is to share your opinions and your ideas in meetings with your team, and even disagree when you need to. So if you want to get the reputation of being an honest and an authentic leader, then you need to be okay with disagreeing. Reason number 3 is it helps you become more visible. So holding back on sharing your opinions and your ideas or your disagreements, if you have to, it keeps you invisible. Why? Because people don't know what you think. Your creative and fantastic ideas are not shared. Nobody knows what they are at all. When you don't voice your opinion, you let good ideas disappear because you don't voice them. And worse, you let bad ideas stay in the conversation because you don't disagree with them. What's hard for a lot of emerging leaders to get used to is the fact that it's their responsibility to highlight potential problems and risks in a team. If you let a bad idea go along and you say nothing and you don't disagree with it, then it can potentially cause a lot more problem for you as a leader down the line, or more problem for your team or your company as a whole. It's your responsibility to voice disagreements, and it really does help you become more visible. Now, how can this work? Why does it help you become more visible? Because you stand out as somebody in the company who was an independent thinker, and that is really important if you want to be recognized as a leader or as leadership material. You also get people seeing things from a different perspective, so that positions you as somebody who can switch around people's views and bring in different views and get other people on board with those views as well. Another really important thing for emerging leaders. And it also helps you develop the reputation as somebody who has a leadership mindset, somebody who thinks like a leader, somebody who thinks independently, who doesn't think like everybody else in the room and isn't afraid to voice their opinion or their idea, even if it's in disagreement with everybody else's. So disagreeing is really important for you as an emerging leader. Now, I know that disagreeing isn't comfortable. The first time you disagree with somebody, it will probably be really uncomfortable. The second time you disagree, it will be a little more comfortable. And the third time you disagree, it will be a lot easier. And as you go down the line and you disagree more and more with a variety of different people, it will become a lot easier for you, and it will eventually become second habit. And the more important thing is, as you disagree more, other people will learn where your boundaries and expectations are. Through their interactions with you, through their disagreements with you, they will learn where you stand on certain issues. So in the future, disagreeing or voicing your opinion or voicing your disagreement, it won't be as difficult for you because people will already know where you stand. So in this video, you've learned why you should disagree as an emerging leader, and I've shared with you 3 reasons why. Now, if you want to learn how to disagree assertively and respectfully with somebody at work, then come back for next week's video where I share with you 5-stage process on how to disagree assertively with other people. So you're really going to enjoy that, especially if you liked this video. And let me know in the comments below what holds you back from disagreeing. I would love to start a dialogue with you. So write something down in the comments below. Now, if you did like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I do release videos every week for emerging leaders, and hit the notification bell as well so you get notified when I release those videos. Now, I will be back next week for another video, as I just explained, so I hope to see you again next week.